Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're looking into a really baffling case, one that's deeply affected a small community in Nova Scotia and, frankly, captured attention way beyond. We're talking about the disappearance of Lilly Sullivan, just 6 years old, and her little brother Jack, who was 4. They just vanished from their rural home, and since that day, the questions have just piled up.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
So in this deep dive, we're going to walk through the massive search that unfolded. We'll look closely at the evidence, what little there seems to be, and also what wasn't found, which can be just as telling sometimes.
Right.
And then we need to get into the statements from the family, the people closest to Lilly and Jack, because they're varied, sometimes conflicting.
That's putting it mildly. Our goal here today is really to give you a solid grasp of the facts as we know them. What did the investigators face? What were the challenges for the searchers on the ground? It's complex.
Definitely.
We want to offer insights that, go a bit deeper than your average news update so you can really understand the different angles of this ongoing mystery.
Okay, let's start right at the beginning. May 2nd, 2025. That's the day Lilly and Jack were officially reported missing.
But it's worth noting they hadn't actually been in school since April 29th.
Right. And then, crucially, there's surveillance footage from May 1st, just the day before they were reported missing. It shows them in public.
Yeah, in New Glasgow, with their mother, their stepfather, and their baby sister. So they were definitely seen just hours before everything changed.
So what's the family's story about May 2nd itself?
Well, according to the stepfather, Daniel Martel, the kids were kept home from school. Lilly supposedly had a cough.
Okay.
He says he and the mother, Malaya Brooks Murray, were in their bedroom with the baby, who was 1. Lilly apparently came in and out of the room a few times that morning, and they could hear Jack, playing in the kitchen. And then Martel says it just went silent.
Silence. And that's when they realized.
That's when they realized something was very wrong.
And Martel, the stepfather, he has a specific theory about how they got out, right?
He does. He believes they opened a sliding back door, which he described as being nearly silent, and just wandered off into the woods.
Nearly silent. That description itself is interesting. But the area right behind the house, it's not exactly a park.
No, not at all. It borders this heavily wooded area, steep banks, really thick brush. It's challenging terrain for anyone, let alone a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old.
Especially if, as the mother mentioned later, there was a possibility of autism, even if not extreme. Could they really just wander off and vanish so completely there?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? The silent door is one thing, but that environment, it raises immediate flags. How far could they realistically get? How quickly?
And how truly silent is that door?
Exactly. So the official response, at least, was fast. Around 10:00 a.m., Malaya Brooks Murray calls 911.
Okay.
And by 12:25 p.m., the RCMP have a news release out. They stated their initial belief was that the children had wandered off.
And crucially,
At that point, they said they had no evidence pointing to an abduction. They issued a vulnerable missing persons advisory for the county, asking people to stay clear of the search area.
all right, so the police are involved. The initial theory is wandered off. What were the immediate family members saying in those first critical hours and days? Let's unpack that.
Well, the mother, Malaya Brooks Murray, she spoke to CTV News on May 3rd. She was expressing hope, obviously.
Natural.
She described the kids as go-lucky, sweet kids who talk to anyone. She did mention possible autism, but not extreme.
And she wanted an Amber Alert.
Yeah, she was pushing for one. Even though the police were saying no evidence of abduction, she felt, that not enough people were even aware they were missing yet.
Makes sense from a mother's perspective. And what about other family nearby?
There's the step-grandmother, Janie McKenzie. That's Daniel Martel's mother. She lives in a trailer on the same property.
Okay, what did she say?
She said she woke up because her dog was barking. She heard Lilly and Jack playing on the swing set outside. And then, just nothing. Silence again. She also recalled Malaya telling her the kids had already been missing for about 20 minutes before she came out of her trailer to help look.
20 minutes. That seems like a gap.
It does. And Mackenzie expressed a lot of self-blame, wishing she'd gotten up sooner when she heard them.
Understandable.
Oh.
And the stepfather, Daniel Martel, what were his immediate actions?
He said that as soon as he realized they were gone, he, quote, immediately jumped in the car and did all the dirt roads, all the culverts, checked over the rivers and streams.
In the car first.
For about 10 minutes, he said. Then he came back home and started searching on foot. That detail, the car search first, given the woods were right there, has definitely raised some eyebrows.
Yeah, you'd think maybe the immediate vicinity on foot first, but okay.
Yeah.
So that terrain, the woods, it dictated the search, right?
Absolutely. The search effort that kicked off on May 3rd was massive, right from the get-go. Over 100 volunteers initially, ground search and rescue, dogs, drones, helicopters. They searched through the night.
And the scale just grew.
It really did. By May 4th, you had 160 searchers out there, and the conditions were tough, heavy rain at times.
And the area they covered,
Ah,
4 square kilometers, that's huge.
it's roughly the size of downtown Halifax. And remember, this is dense, difficult woodland, not city blocks. It was an incredible undertaking.
They brought in technology too, didn't they?
Yes, 4 drones with thermal imaging. They used those at night, hoping to pick up heat signatures through the trees in the darkness, trying everything.
But despite all that effort, the news wasn't good.
No. On May 7th, just 5 days after they disappeared, RCMP staff Strat Curtis McKinnon made the announcement. They were scaling back the search.
Why?
He said there had been 0 confirmed sightings, and this was the heartbreaking part. He stated it was unlikely they are alive.
Oh, that must have been devastating for everyone holding out hope.
Absolutely brutal. But, even after that official scaling back, the searchers didn't just give up. There were renewed efforts.
Really?
Yeah, May 17th and 18th, about 115 volunteers went back out. Then again, end of May, early June, another 75 volunteers. They focused on specific spots, like a pipeline trail nearby.
That level of dedication is incredible.
Amy Hansen, one of the search managers, called the total effort something like 12,000 hours. Pretty much unheard of for Nova Scotia. She talked about how clue-sensitive the search was, meaning
Yeah.
teams were sometimes moving through the brush so thick they could barely see past their own fingertips. Just imagine that intensity.
Wow.
And the toll on the volunteers, it was immense. Physically, mentally. Hansen mentioned some couldn't even bring themselves to call out the children's names. It's just gut-wrenching.
Unimaginable. So with all this incredible searching, this meticulous effort, what actual clues did they find? Anything concrete?
Well, a couple of potentially significant items did surface early on. Around May 3rd, they found a child-sized boot print on that pipeline trail, maybe about a kilometer from the house.
Okay. Anything else?
Yes. Near where the boot print was found, on Lansdowne Road, they also located a piece of Lily's blanket.
Her blanket. Confirmed.
Daniel Martel confirmed it belonged to Lily. He also hinted there was, quote, more evidence than what the public knows, but didn't specify. That blanket piece is undergoing forensic tests right now.
So that could still yield something crucial. What about the water theory? Did they check ponds or lakes?
They did. On May 8th and 9th, the RCMP Underwater Recovery Team searched lakes and other water bodies in the area. Found nothing. It's interesting. Martel claimed police told him they'd bring in cadaver dogs for Lansdowne Lake.
But did they?
The RCMP later clarified, no cadaver dogs have been used for a general search in the woods, only for specific targets based on information gathered. So, a bit of a discrepancy there.
Okay, so the physical search yields a couple of items, but no children. What about the broader police investigation?
Oh, it's extensive. A June 2025 update called it an intensive approach. We're talking over 11 different RCMP units involved, from Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, even Ontario.
That's unusual for a missing persons case, isn't it? Bringing in resources from other provinces.
Highly unusual. It really shows the scale and complexity they're dealing with. They've collected, initially said hundreds of hours, later refined to 5,000 video files. Think about reviewing all that.
Wow.
They've formally interviewed somewhere between 54 and over 60 people. Some included polygraph tests. They've assessed hundreds of public tips, over 600 at last count. And they've secured numerous legal authorizations, warrants presumably, to seize and examine materials.
And amidst all this, the stepfather, Daniel Martel, he's been quite cooperative.
Seemingly very cooperative. He stated publicly he gave police his phone, his banking info right away. He even asked for a polygraph test early on.
Why did he say he did that?
He acknowledged that stepfathers often come under suspicion in these cases, and he wanted to clear his name quickly.
Did he talk about the polygraph itself?
He did. He recounted being asked very direct questions like, did you kill Lily and Jack? And are you an accessory to the murder?
Intense.
Very. He claims the investigator told him immediately afterward that he passed.
But we need to be clear about polygraphs in Canada.
Absolutely. It's crucial for you, the listener, to understand. Polygraph results are not admissible as evidence in Canadian courts. They're an investigative tool, maybe help police focus, but passing or failing doesn't legally prove anything.
Right. So, despite Martel's cooperation and reported pass and the lack of concrete evidence, Where do the RCMP officially stand now?
Their official line remains consistent. Still no evidence of abduction, but, and this is important, they stress that every missing persons case is treated as suspicious until proven otherwise. They explicitly say they have not closed any doors on the possibility the children could still be alive. All options remain open.
And the reward offered. That says something too, doesn't it?
It really does. The Nova Scotia government put up a reward of up to $150,000 for information of investigative value. That kind of program is usually for major unsolved homicides or very serious crimes. It signals just how gravely they view this case.
Okay, so the investigation is massive, ongoing, all possibilities open, but this is where it gets, well, particularly difficult to grasp. The reactions and the statements from the immediate family, they're just so different.
Profoundly different. You have the mother, Malaya Brooks Murray. After an RCMP briefing on May 3rd, she left with her own mother. She reportedly blocked Daniel Martel on social media.
And she hasn't been back to the house.
No, she hasn't returned to the home where they vanished. Her mother did state police advised them not to talk to the media, which might explain some of the silence.
Okay, so she's been largely absent from the public eye, but Martel.
Martel has been the opposite, consistently talking to the media, expressing hope, saying he's reliving a nightmare. He's also made statements like, "The police are easy on me because they know I'm telling the truth."
That's a bold statement.
It is. His very public stance is a stark contrast to Malaya's withdrawal.
And this divergence in belief, it extends beyond them, right, to the grandparents.
Exactly. You have the children's paternal grandmother, Belinda Gray. That's Lily and Jack's biological father's mother. She stated publicly in June that she believes the children are no longer alive.
Oh, wow.
But then you have the step-grandmother, Janie Mackenzie, Daniel Martel's mother. She insists, "My heart hasn't dropped." She firmly believes Jack and Lily are alive.
So, two grandmothers, completely opposite convictions about whether the children are alive or dead.
And Janie Mackenzie has also been critical of the RCMP's initial response, feeling they didn't grasp the danger of the terrain quickly enough. This deep division within the family itself adds another layer of complexity and, frankly, public scrutiny.
And speaking of scrutiny, this case, like many high-profile ones, has generated a lot of online noise.
Unfortunately, yes. A Canadian lawyer, Alison Harris, even put out a warning about the legal risks of spreading unfounded theories online, drawing parallels to other tragic cases.
And the police have addressed it too.
RCMP's PPL Guillaume Tremblay urged people to rely on trusted sources and avoid spreading misinformation that could actually hurt the investigation.
And Janie Mackenzie, the step-grandmother, she's felt this public attention directly.
Very much so. She described constant scrutiny, cars slowing down by her house, drones flying over, people recognizing her everywhere. Said she often just keeps her head down. It's a heavy burden on top of everything else.
So after looking at the timeline, the search, the evidence, the investigation, the family statements, where does this leave us with the mystery of Lily and Jack?
Well, fundamentally, we still have two very young children who vanished from their home. An immense search effort across treacherous terrain followed.
Right.
Key items, the boot print, the blanket piece were found, but there have been no confirmed sightings since May 1st. Officially, police say no signs of abduction, but they are keeping all possibilities open, treating it as suspicious.
The effort is undeniable.
Absolutely. Hundreds of interviews, thousands of video files, that huge reward. It shows a massive commitment to finding answers. Whatever happened, authorities are pouring resources into uncovering it.
And behind all the details, all the procedures, there's this incredibly powerful human story.
You can't forget that. The dedication of those searchers, facing heartbreaking conditions, the conflicting beliefs and the evident pain within the family, and just the sustained global focus on these two little kids.
So we'll leave you with this thought to consider. Even with all the resources, the technology, the thousands of hours invested, what does it tell us about how deeply complex these cases can be when the people closest to the children hold such fundamentally different beliefs about their fate? And when something as seemingly simple as a silent door becomes such a critical, debated piece of the entire narrative? Please keep Lily and Jack in your thoughts. And if you or anyone you know has credible information, please contact the RCMP or Crime Stoppers immediately.